Hi, I'm Chris Lyon, and I'm going to be uh, presenting to you some helpful key points and hints on choosing a new web designer. While you are trying to choose a new web designer, I just again want to share some of these key points of why you should choose that designer, whether it be me or somebody else. I just thought it'd be helpful to share some useful hints and key points with you on this topic. The first thing in choosing somebody, they need to be able to create a web page that uh, has a target audience and understands who the target audience is. So, as you see on the screen here, you will need to establish your target audience for this web page. You need to understand who your target audience is. In this case, it is for a hospital, and our target audience are local and nearby residents who are seeking or needing of medical care, and we want to be able to draw them in to use our hospital instead of, making a trip to the nearest town and using theirs. So then, with that said, our webpage needs to appeal to that target audience, and we'll get into that a little more here in a bit. But finally, it is helpful to have something the audience can relate to, whether it be cultural items or even past memories of maybe you were in the hospital as a kid and something good happened and you remember that based off of past memories there. So, but yeah, this and talking about something the audience can relate to as well. Um, if the population near our hospital is mostly Hispanic, it would not be a wise choice at all to choose a design or any imagery or any color schemes that appeals to African Americans. If the area is um, heavy on Hispanic population, um, I think you would want to, choose something that draws them in, but not only specifically them, but kind of have that fine line between um, that Hispanic appeal, but yet to everybody else as well. Same if you're in a metropolitan area, you want something that appeals to metropolitan areas and not rural areas. So something to keep in mind there as well. On to web page visual organization. It is important to have something that immediately catches the eye of the viewer upon their first look. One important item that I had wrote down for this is it is a known fact that you only have 30 seconds to engage your client. So by the time they click on your web page, the web page comes up and they're starting to view. Rule of thumb is you have 30 seconds for them to be engaged to that web page and what you have to offer. So you want something that, is kind of like something that appeals to them, something that pops with them, because it's very important in that first 30 seconds that you have their attention. Secondly, it is also important that the layout is user-friendly. You want to make sure that the information that you're trying to pass along to the patients is easily accessible. You want to make sure that the pictures are laid out in a neat and in proper locations. You don't want just a cluster of pictures in a random spot of a page. You want to make sure that, if you're talking about the surgery center, that you have pictures that also correlate with that and not in an improper location. Also, with the use of charts and graphs, You want to make sure those are in proper locations and are easily uh, readable to the viewer with charts and graphs. You're not really, I guess, trying to appeal to the viewer, but you're trying to pass along the information of, if there's a list of data, you want to pass that along for a more easier way than just giving them a list of data, something that is more catching to the eye and easier for that user to read through. We also need to make sure that the font that we choose is legible. Probably not a good idea to use like a handwritten type of font to try to pass information along. Are the color schemes proper for the type of business, in this case the hospital, and are they compatible with each other? You want to use, of course, fonts that you can easily read. You don't want to use like a dark blue font on a black background. But even with like color schemes, you want to use colors that are inviting and calming. Of course, we're dealing with a hospital here, so people are kind of, a little anxious and nervous to begin with, but you want to use colors that can help calm them and invite them to your webpage and to your facility. So in research, I found that white, blue, green, and violet are all calming colors that would work for this particular case. And by using a correct combinations of colors, lines, fonts, we can create that calming and peaceful effect that we want on our viewers and give them, that sense of calmness. Also, we want to give the viewer a sense of what we are about. And so even using like pictures of our facility can give the viewer a sense of, what to expect when they come to our facility. Next is webpage visual simplicity. One way to help the viewer better understand the information we provide on our webpage is by using pictures that correlate to the information. As I said before, if you're talking about a surgery center, you want to use a picture that correlates to the surgery center and not something that correlates with the nursery or any other parts of a hospital on that page. Secondly, you should also use images that are simplistic. These images in combination with a user-friendly web page can aid in the user choosing our facility over the other facilities. So our last thing here, again, that we need to keep in mind is that simplistic images will give our user or viewer a sense of calmness and is important to our line of services being a hospital. Again, they're going to be, tense, nervous, anxious. We want to help keep them calm and, have it be so that they have a sense of peace when thinking of our facility. The next sample here is the viewer interactivity. We want to make the viewer feel that they are part of the web page and that the web page was built for them and around them. We want to give the viewer a way to connect with the web page in the hospital. This will help drive and keep viewers on our web page. And also with the patients, we want to have them use our facility and services. So, there's tools and items out there that can help them be more interactive with the web page and may help them feel that our facility is the best for their medical use. And then examples of things that could be used as user interactivity are search tools, even searching for like physicians and reading, kind of a little biography about them, or maybe there's even an interactive little video that the physician has. There could be surveys, newsletters, interactive facility tour, which I'm about to show you here in a minute, a good example of one I found, and then interactive patient education. So here's a link to the facility tour that I wanted to show you guys. So that link brought up, a picture. This is a patient room, but there's different areas down here. There's like a dialysis unit, emergency room, some other different rooms there, but basically you could click and drag and you could see, you could see like the different parts of the room. There's a sink. Over here is likely a bathroom, some seating area for family, the patient bed, so on and so forth. But it gives you kind of an idea of what an interactive tool could be used for, especially with the virtual tour there. It gives a patient a good idea of what to expect while they're in our facility. And kind of a little recap here on Webpage charts and graphs. We touched on this a little bit, but the charts and graphs should be simplistic and get the point across to the viewer. They're meant to pass along data and not appeal to a viewer's emotions. So basically, and in our last one here, it's easier for the viewer to understand data placing in a chart or a graph compared to a list of numbers. Basically, you want to take complex data and make it easier for the user to see what they are reading with the use of charts and graphs. And these charts and graphs, they're not images. They're not to be used as pictures to appeal to the viewer. It's simply to pass along data in an easier sense for them. Finally, a little touch again on web page images. Again, the web page images can set the mood for your web page. They could draw the viewer into your web page. Like I said, they got that 30 seconds to engage the viewer. So once that viewer clicks on your page, maybe pictures are a way for them to engage, but you got that 30 seconds to pull them in. But again, this gives the viewer something to relate to, such as a cultural item or a memory from their past. And finally, using pictures of our staff is a good idea too. I thought maybe during events or dressed up for Christmas or other happy events or occasions, where the viewer can, kind of get the sense of fun and calmness, and, that may be able to show them that we are caring people, that you should choose our facility for your care because we care about your well-being and we are, fun, easy people to work with, and our facility is great, and it just gives them a sense of what they're really getting themselves into. So that is all I have. I hope you guys decide to go with me for the web designer for your new web page. But if not, I hope you take the items that I have just discussed into account for your selection. Thank you for your time.